Today, a message of deep spiritual resonance, brought by your angel, reaches you, surpassing all conceivable boundaries. At the magical moment when destiny intertwined your paths with his, he found you lost in a state of overwhelming selfishness. Consumed by his own ego, he attracted followers who gravitated around him, putting him at the epicenter of his particular universe. Totally blinded by his self-absorption, he lived isolated in a reality where only his existence mattered, projecting a selfish aura that cast shadows over everything and everyone around him. His only concern was the projection of his image. He was distant from understanding true love, surrounded by people attracted only by the superficial glow of his image, unable to touch the depth of his true essence. He seemed to have completely forgotten that he had a soul, living as if each gesture and each word were mere theater, designed only to enchant and captivate those around him. All his actions, meticulously calculated and executed, were driven by a burning desire to impress others, an unrelenting search for approval and admiration that seemed to consume every fiber of his being. It was as if he lived under the spotlights of an invisible stage, where each movement was a carefully choreographed scene to sustain the bright image he projected to the world. Even his relationships were strategically chosen and cultivated, not out of genuine affection or emotional connection, but rather for their potential to further polish his impeccable facade. He approached people who could add a layer of varnish to his already glossy public appearance, and considered relationships valuable only when they served the purpose of reinforcing the illusion of perfection that he worked so hard to maintain. His appreciation of wealth transcended mere material value. He saw it as an essential tool in building his persona of success and influence. Recognition as a popular and successful figure was not just desired, it was voraciously pursued, as if his own existence depended on the constant affirmation of his status. This relentless quest for approval led to any consideration for his personal health being neglected, relegated to a much lower priority in the face of the urgency to remain relevant in the eyes of others. Thus, while his public image flourished, adorned with praise and admiration from others, his most intimate essence, his mental and emotional health, was left in the shadow, suffering from an abandonment that few noticed. Public opinion had become the guiding star of his inner compass, the most influential critic of his choices and actions. In the theater of his life, where each day was a meticulously staged performance, the true essence of who he was remained hidden, forgotten, and ignored, both by himself and by those who thought they knew him. Furthermore, there was a disturbing shadow in his personality, a tendency that connected him with individuals who challenged the laws in search of pleasure or unrestrained emotion. Before crossing paths with him, he had rarely looked into someone's eyes with genuine interest, as his tendency was to objectify people, treating them more as figures in his scenery than as human beings with their own feelings and thoughts. For him, attraction was a common occurrence, but true emotional connection was uncharted territory, unexplored until then. However, at the exact moment their gazes met, an extraordinary event occurred. He felt transported to a parallel universe, a dimension where you were the central figure, shining brightly. In this new world, he saw in you an almost angelic purity, an aura of healing that seemed to flow directly from your essence, touching everyone around you. To him, you were like a true earthly angel, and this celestial energy seemed to envelop him in a unique and unmistakable way. In your presence, a deep calm took over his soul, as if the constant storm of thoughts that troubled him was silenced by a divine enchantment. He felt completely immersed in your spirituality, extremely impressed by the tireless commitment you dedicated to your spiritual journey and your relentless quest for a deeper connection with the divine. You became a source of magic and inspiration for him, capable of manifesting your desires with an ease that he had never witnessed before. Your intuition, sharp as a blade, cut through the everyday illusions, while your ability to heal was not only palpable but also deeply transformative. Your presence exuded a bold confidence that not only intrigued him but also invited him to dive deeper into his own being in search of a higher purpose. As he navigated the turbulent waters of his own internal wounds, seeking healing and a more intimate connection with the divine, he found an endless source of inspiration in your profound spirituality. The authenticity with which you led your life was something he not only admired but deeply desired for himself. Before crossing paths with you, he was immersed in the endless task of shaping his public image, always striving to fit in and meet others' expectations, in a constant search for an identity that would fit into established social norms. You, however, emerged in his life as a beacon of authenticity, a shining light that illuminated the path to a deeper truth. Your presence was like a guide, showing that true strength lies in being true to oneself, regardless of external opinions. This made him feel simultaneously inspired and somewhat intimidated, as his essence was the embodiment of a pure and genuine love, a kind of love he had never experienced before and that challenged all his previous preconceptions about personal relationships. He saw in you a poignant singularity, a presence that naturally attracted not only him, but also many other admirers. This awareness of not being the only one to perceive your unique light left him insecure, causing him to place you on a pedestal, idealizing you as an almost mythical figure, while doubting his own ability to match such a high standard. Your exceptional aura, combined with the simplicity with which you accepted this admiration without being affected, intrigued and challenged him. He saw in you an unparalleled uniqueness, completely distinct from anyone else who had ever crossed his path. In you, he found not just a person, but a whole universe of qualities and depths that fascinated and intrigued him. It was as if a deeply spiritual soul connection formed between you, a bond that transcended the ordinary and touched the divine, compelling him to desire to be closer to you. However, his wavering self-esteem often rose as an invisible barrier, whispering doubts that made him question his own worth. He feared not being worthy of your attention, as you seemed to him to be on a high, almost celestial, level that he believed he was incapable of reaching. With attentive eyes and a restless mind, he observed each of your interactions, analyzing how you moved, spoke, and laughed with others, inevitably comparing himself to those around him. In each comparison, he saw himself as more and more inadequate, widening the gap he perceived between you and him. The fear of being undesirable in your eyes haunted him, fueled by the idea that you were someone unattainable, almost a separate entity from tangible reality. This perception of distance did not diminish the intensity of his feelings, but instead deepened the reverence and respect he had for your person and your spirituality. The spirituality that you emanated not only attracted him but inspired him to seek within himself a reflection of that light that naturally radiated from you. If you find yourself in this situation, reflect on the possibility of initiating an open and sincere conversation. He is deeply in love with you, although plagued by doubts of not deserving your love. Deep down, he believes that you belong to a higher sphere, a plane of existence that is rare and special. This admiration he feels for you is true and tangible, and even though fear and insecurity make him hesitate, his heart pushes him closer to you, yearning for a chance to demonstrate how much he values and admires all that you represent. Even though permeated by incessant doubts, his intuition persistently whispers that he must seek you out, encouraging him to overcome the abyss of insecurity that presents itself as an almost insurmountable barrier. Since the moment you entered his life, a profound and irrevocable transformation began in him. It was a true ego shock that shook the foundations of his identity and his perception of himself, forcing him to confront and re-evaluate who he truly was and what he truly wanted from life. This metamorphosis opened his eyes to new possibilities and ways of seeing himself, but paradoxically intensified the fear that he was not worthy of someone as extraordinary as you. He experiences a soul connection so intense that it challenges him to seek a reconnection with his deepest spiritual side. He is irrevocably in love with you, but is haunted by the fear that his feelings may not be reciprocated. He sees himself as someone who is not up to par, someone you could never consider a viable option, fearing that you see him as someone out of your reach, someone not compatible with the grandeur of your presence. This deep spiritual connection he feels with you is a constant source of inspiration. It is something that transcends mere affection. It is a bond that touches the core of his being and reignites the flame of his own spirituality and desire for evolution. The desire to be by your side is not merely a romantic whim, it is a deep aspiration, rooted in the purest admiration and respect for all that you are and represent. He sees in you not only a potential partner, but an uplifting influence, a vivifying inspiration that motivates him to become the best version of himself. However, insecurity and fear of rejection continue to be formidable obstacles, barriers that he struggles daily to overcome. He longs for an opportunity to prove his worth and demonstrate the deep love and respect he feels for you. He wishes more than anything to overcome these fears and finally take a step towards you, opening up to the possibility of a shared life rooted in genuine love and mutual understanding. He dreams of the day when he can finally feel deserving of your love, setting aside the doubts that haunt him and fully embracing the potential of a future by your side. If this message resonates with what you are experiencing, consider the possibility of taking the first step and initiating a meaningful conversation, as he deeply longs for your presence, even if the shadows of doubt, cast by wavering self-esteem, often obscure his desire. He sees you as an almost unattainable figure, so high and dazzling in your brightness, that sometimes he seems more like a star in the sky than a presence within his reach. However, you are also a deep source of inspiration for him, lighting his way and motivating him to overcome himself day after day. He feels an urgent need to know that you value him, to understand that he holds a special place in your life, because to him, you are a transformative and exceptionally special presence. His intuition tirelessly drives him to reduce the distance between you, suggesting that he should get closer, but the paralyzing fear of not being adequate, not living up to expectations, or simply not being enough often prevents him from taking the initiative. Since destiny intertwined your lives, he has been on a continuous journey of personal transformation, with each encounter with you prompting him to reflect, grow, and change. Now he finds himself at a crucial point in this evolution and desperately needs a sign that you see him not just as he was, but as the man he is striving to become, someone valuable, worthy of love and respect. To him, you symbolize the first true passion of his life, a force that completely redefined his understanding of what it means to love and be loved. The desire to be by your side, to share moments and build memories, is not just a passing whim, but a deep longing that touches the essence of his being. He yearns for an opportunity to reveal the depth of his feelings, to show you through words and actions that what he feels is real and enduring. Consider seriously the possibility of starting a conversation, as he carries a deep love for you, a feeling that persists even in the face of barriers erected by his own insecurity. Allow these words to deeply touch your soul and resonate within you, bringing clarity and peace. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, longs to guide you towards the best possible path and will continue to do so, leading you to positive outcomes, regardless of the choices you make along the way. Always remember that you are a worthy individual and deserve a love as majestic and eternal as the constellations written in the stars. To fully embrace this message and the many blessings it offers, I invite you to share your reflections in the comments below. Express your emotions, thoughts, and hopes. This space is a sanctuary for the sincere exchange of experiences and feelings. Additionally, don't forget to leave your like if these words resonated in your heart, and subscribe to the channel to stay updated on the inspiring messages we share here. I am truly eager to see your reactions and to accompany you on your spiritual journey. Together, we can elevate our spirits and nurture an environment filled with positive energy and love. Stay tuned for our upcoming messages, as each one is carefully prepared with the intention of bringing light and inspiration into your life. We are here to support you every step of the way, and we look forward to witnessing the blooming of your magnificent journey. May God and the universe illuminate each of your steps with an abundant peace, love, and faith. May each day be a testimony to your strength and your ability to overcome challenges as you walk under the guidance of a divine direction. Amen.